Hello, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to talk about the most asked questions about Amazon. So we did a quick survey and we asked questions with close friends in e-commerce and our e-commerce agency clients to see what are the most burning questions they want to know. So one of the first questions was how to lower your ad spend and ACoS. And now this is a question we get all the time. And there's many ways to do this, right? First, have a great product. A good product will always have lower ad spend, if of course managed well. But more practically speaking, ad spend and Amazon ads is all about daily checking, maintenance, and adjustments. You have to adjust the bids, and especially if you want to have lower ACoS and lower ad spend, you usually have to be more defensive and lower your budget and lower your bids. And the key with this is don't do big increments or big decreases of ads and bids. For example, if your bid is 60p, do not decrease it to 20p because that might kill the campaign off. Do it slowly. Remove 4 or 5p at a time. Do it as little as possible, but do it as often as possible so you can see the difference in the results. Also, start new campaigns. As crazy as that sounds, start new campaigns because this way you can test new keywords, you can test new type of targetings. If the campaign works well and has a better ad spend, that's great. That means you're actually overall decreasing your ad spend and ACoS. And another key is if something is not working, cut the losers. Here it's all about cut the losers, increase the winners. That's why you need to check it all the time because sometimes ad spend can go through the roof on a campaign, and if you don't see it right away, you might spend a lot of money. So be vigilant and consistently and constantly check it. Another question we got asked is how to increase my organic sales. So on Amazon you have the ad sales that come from ad spend, and then you have the organic sales. How do you increase your organic sales? First, make sure your listing is as optimized as possible. You have a good title, good main image, good and rich bullet points, have a good A+ content, make sure it's optimized from an Amazon SEO standpoint. If you're doing all of that all the time and you're changing images and you're checking stuff and you're checking stats all the time, then your organic sales will kind of be going up. Now, one of the things that helps organic the most, as crazy as that sounds, is ad sales, because the way Amazon works is because it's a momentum game, the more sales you get, the more sales you will get. So when you're spending more on ads and when your ads are doing well and you're getting more sales, that's what happens. Organic still start to increase. So let's say you have 100,000 sales from ad sales, you have a lot from organic as well. The more you sell, Amazon takes you to the top and you start ranking better organically. But that comes with time. Make sure your listing looks great. Make sure you're getting good reviews because that's very important. Organic sales and sales in general tend to drop if your reviews tend to drop. If you're keeping over 4.5, depending on category, you will do a lot better. As long as you have good reviews, you have a very good price, because price is super important. If your price is super high and it's not competitive, your sales will decrease and your organic sales will decrease. So make sure your reviews are good, make sure your pricing is good, main image is good and you're testing them all the time, Amazon SEO is good, and make sure you're spending on ads so you're pushing those sales and then pushing organic sales with that. So when we talk about margin, volume is very important as well. If you have a very high volume, usually margins are a bit lower, but the volume kind of takes care of that and the economy of scale takes care of that. But the higher the margin, the better. I cannot stress that enough. Higher, better. Another question we got is how do I decrease my cost of goods and how do I negotiate better deals with suppliers? This is what I've seen work very, very well. Of course, you can go the email route and the phone route and negotiate. That can help. But remember, most of your suppliers are in China and most manufacturers work with a lot of other sellers. So a lot of the relationships are not really personal. If you go there, visit them with a gift, with something in your hands, and you actually spend the day with them, you speak with them, you explain them your vision, you explain them what you want to do with this brand and product, it goes such a long way. Then you can really negotiate and explain, look, I want to get this price decrease because I'll increase this volume and I'll be able to get this, this, and this. Explain it to them physically live. That makes a big difference. I know China is quite far, but it makes a big difference. Another thing is working with smaller manufacturers. The bigger guys don't care as much because they have a lot of volume and a lot of sellers going to them. But the smaller manufacturers, those are the ones that you can really negotiate good price and kind of partner with them. And if you go and visit them, it's even better because they're smaller and that's even a bigger token of appreciation. So visit them, create that relationship, and if you can, work with smaller ones. Another question we got, and I was a bit surprised by this, is can you sell your business? If you sell on Amazon only, can you sell a business? Now, I do know a good amount of people that sold their businesses. Some people have sold it for 7 figures, multiple 7 figures. Some people have sold it for 6 figures. I know directly people who have sold it for those amounts. I know indirectly people have sold it for a lot more, of course, but I can only speak of what I've actually seen, the numbers I've seen, the deals I've seen. So you can definitely sell it. How much you sell it for It's of course depending on your profit, on your balance sheet, on the cash you have in the bank, the type of product and category it is. If it's a category that's going on the up, if it's a category that's going on the down. Is your business, is your Amazon account going on the up with sales, or is it going down? And who you sell it to is super important. If you have a buyer in mind already, it makes a lot of sense. That's why you often hear deals in e-commerce and other businesses of someone like, for example, Prime Drink. They go big, they become almost a competitor to Coca-Cola, and they buy them. That's what usually happens on the bigger scale. On the smaller scale, it can happen with smaller competitors, but ideally you want to sell it to someone who has the know-how and the knowledge and the skill to actually operate your business. But again, greatly depends on profit and type of products you're selling and who you're selling it to. But it is definitely possible. To answer it shortly, it's 100% possible, and a lot of people still do it. You won't hear it because it's smaller transactions, and the bigger transactions are public, but the smaller ones, they're not public. Another interesting question we got is, which one is better, tacos or ACOS as an advertising metric? So I really believe both are great. I prefer tacos when it comes to total profitability. So total profitability when it comes to tacos is better because it actually shows you the total advertising cost of sales. So if, for example, if you have 100 pounds in ad spend and your total sales are 1,000 pounds, that's like 10% tacos. And it shows me the relationship between organic sales and ad sales. And this is what I really want to see. I want to be able to track that. ACOS is still super important because it shows me a snapshot of my ad performance. What usually happens is ACOS and tacos are closely related. For example, rarely you have a super high ACOS on an Amazon account and a super low tacos, because usually they're closely related. If your ACOS does well, usually your tacos does well as well. They're closely related, but tacos is a more holistic approach, a more holistic metric. Both are great. I personally prefer tacos because you can see a lot more. You have the organic part and you have the profitability, the total profitability part, which with ACOS you don't have. Another question that I like and is very interesting in my opinion is, how many products should I have in my product range? For me, from what I've seen, is the sweet spot when it comes to private label is 5 to 20. And it's a wide range, but 5 to 20 tends to do very well, because 5 to 20, and especially when it's lower, it's more manageable. If you're a smaller brand, you can manage a lot more having 5 products just to restock rather than more than 20. So 5 to 20 tends to do very well. It's not about just how many products you have, it's how well they work. And what tends to happen with most brands is, from those 10, 15, 20 products, they usually have 5 to 6 that tend to perform extremely well. All the other ones do well, but they don't do as well. And in my opinion, if you can, even 3 products is perfect, but 5 to 20 is what I've seen working very well. And ideally 5 to 12, really. 5 to 20 is, I think, where the sweet spot is. Now, there are bigger brands that have 50, 100 products, but I think it becomes operationally quite complicated. You need to think about the operations as well. The less products, the less operational headache. Having more products, of course, to a certain extent might give you a little bit of a diversification, but it also splits your focus, which is an issue when you're trying to build a bigger business. I really hope you liked the video. I'll see you very soon. I'm out.